A woman does everything she can to give her younger brother a second chance at a better life, even if it means selling herself. Lola's mother used to tell her that going to church would make her a good person. However, she is not convinced of this, as she believes everyone needs a reason to be good. One day, she puts on makeup and takes some substances before going to work as a dancer in a club. While she works, her mother, Mona, is passed out on the couch with her boyfriend, Trick. When she gets home, Lola hides her money in her dresser before going to sleep next to her brother, Arlo. In the morning, Lola lovingly wakes up her brother and offers to make him breakfast. However, while she's cooking, Trick also asks for the food she's preparing, and Lola frowns at this. She ignores him and serves some eggs to her brother, promising to take him swimming later. When she leaves, Trick steals some of Arlo's food. Nevertheless, Arlo thanks the Lord for his meal before having breakfast. Lola goes for a drive with her best friend, Babina, as they head to work. During the day, Lola works as a clerk at a grocery store with Babina. While attending the cash register, her boyfriend, Malachi, stays at the counter and offers to take the change a customer left. Then he gives Lola some substances but asks her to first tell him she loves him. Lola agrees, so her boyfriend provides her with what she wants. Meanwhile, Mona is homeschooling Arlo, though she is clearly impatient with his progress. Bored, she leaves but not before asking her son to buy her some cigarettes. While Arlo takes the dog to run the errand, Lola hides in the store's bathroom to read a magazine. There, she sees an ad for an art school for children. She takes the page, hoping to enroll her brother in it. Malachi then joins her to take some white powder with his girlfriend. After work, Lola takes her brother swimming as she promised. For days, Lola spends time with her friend and boyfriend, only to force herself to dance at the club at night to earn some extra money. One night, Mona catches her daughter getting ready for bed at 3 a.m. She asks where she goes at night, and when Lola dodges the question, she warns her that the Lord watches her everywhere. Mona believes that Lola has become sinful since she strayed from the church. Thinking she is a lost cause, the mother only asks her not to drag her brother along with her. Confidently, Lola asserts that she is not the one doing that to Arlo. Mona confronts her daughter about this, to which Lola assures that she is not mistreating her brother. In retaliation, the mother only wishes her ex-husband had taken Lola with him when he left them. The next day, Lola steals from the same store where she works. Meanwhile, her mother puts on a lot of makeup and dresses in her best clothes while listening to religious sermons on the radio. Later, the woman attends a Bible study, where she offers refreshments to the attendees. Among them is Nancy, who asks about her children. She invites Arlo to spend the night at her house with her son, but Mona excuses herself by saying that her son is busy with his studies. The mother then insists that homeschooling is better since public schools focus more on science than on life lessons. She believes that homeschooled children become smarter because of this. Nancy simply shrugs at this statement, noting that her son wouldn't be a baseball star if he were homeschooled. She then boasts that boys will be boys, which makes Mona frown. The woman even mentions that her whole family will be attending the study and wonders if Mona's boyfriend will join them too. Mona excuses herself, saying that Trick is busy with his business, and Nancy simply nods, barely hiding her doubts. That night, Arlo asks his sister to put makeup on him because he wants to look like her. Lola agrees to his request and joins her brother. However, soon Mona finds them and scolds her son for wearing makeup. She blames her daughter for this and wipes Arlo's face with a towel to remove the makeup. This scares Arlo, so he runs away. Lola threatens her mother not to treat her brother that way, but Mona sharply responds that her daughter is leading her son into sin. Later, Lola reassures her brother that he did nothing wrong. She also promises him that God still loves him, affirming that she talks to him. Then, the girl helps Arlo fall asleep, promising him that she will soon get them out of their mother's house. After her brother falls asleep, Lola heads to work at the club with a heavy heart. Wanting to move out with her brother sooner, Lola asks her coworker, Didi, how to earn more. The woman advises her to take clients to the back room, something Lola hasn't done before. The idea scares Lola, so Didi assures her that as long as she does what the client wants, she'll make money. With much hesitation, Lola attends to a client in one of the private rooms. She follows his orders and even takes off her blouse. Fortunately for her, things don't go too far, so she takes her money and leaves. Still, Lola feels anxious about the encounter, so she uses some medicine to calm herself in the dressing room before going back out to dance on stage. Another day, a solemn Lola smokes with Malachi outside the supermarket, although he worries about whether she should go back before the manager catches her. The woman ignores this, so her boyfriend reminds her that she still needs the money for the art school she wants to enroll Arlo in. Remembering her goal, Lola asks for stimulants to keep going, which Malachi gladly provides. Then she reveals that the school is out of town, and this disheartens her boyfriend because they will be separated. Even so, he understands why she is doing it, so he promises to visit her there as often as he can. When she gets home, Lola hears Mona hitting Arlo for liking girl things. The woman defends her brother and even threatens her mother's life if she hurts him again. Upon learning what happened, Babina offers to let Lola and Arlo stay at her house the next day. Malachi also buys food for his girlfriend's brother, showing his support for them. That night, Arlo bonds with Babina's mother, Pearl, who is happy to have the boy around. Meanwhile, Malachi comforts Lola, though when she doesn't respond much to his touch, he admits that her lack of affection towards him makes him feel guilty. The woman points out that he cheated on her once, and this makes the man leave, not wanting to argue. The next morning, Babina and Lola head to work while Pearl and Arlo complete a puzzle. During work, Lola steals again, and although Babina sees her do it, she just warns her to be careful. Later, however, her theft causes her to lose her job as another staff member reports her. That afternoon, Arlo cooks lunch for himself and Pearl. The woman is impressed by this, so he tells her that his sister taught him to cook, adding that Lola is his best friend. Later, Mona calls Pearl, knowing that her children are at her house. She asks the woman to tell her children to come back home, promising that their fight was all a misunderstanding. After work, Babina takes Lola back home, but she remains silent on the way, upset about how her friend lost her job. They arrive home and find Malachi waiting for his girlfriend, but Lola refuses to talk to him. Still, the man begs her to reconcile, pointing out that they are good together, even if they don't sleep together. However, Lola thinks that the only thing he cares about is physical intimacy, emphasizing that she refuses to have her first experience with someone who would do it with anyone. Malachi argues that she dances for money but refuses to sleep with her own boyfriend. Lola points out that she only dances on stage, so Malachi relents and promises not to be unfaithful to her again. Not convinced, Lola goes in to prepare for her night shift. At the club, Didi informs Lola that her mother is there to see her. With no other choice, she goes out to meet Mona. Her mother accuses her of kidnapping her son, claiming she is not good enough to raise him. Without even letting Lola speak, she then leaves. Her words continue to bother Lola, so she asks Didi to cover for her while she leaves early to take care of her brother. The next morning, Arlo asks his sister to pick up the family dog because he misses it. Because of this, Lola sneaks back home that night. She goes to her room first to pick up some things, but Trick finds her and corners her. The man takes the opportunity to use her, leaving Lola crying from her horrible first experience. She runs back to Babina's house, where she collapses inside the closet. After calming down, she wakes up her brother to tell him she picked up his dog. The following night, Lola meets Malachi to get some substances, but he refuses to give her any. Desperate, she offers to sleep with him in exchange, but the man refuses to get what he wants that way. He then gives her the medication but says that it's over between them before leaving. Lola uses the medicine to get through her shift at the club, though she struggles as her life starts to fall apart. The next morning, she wakes up to find her brother putting stickers on her to cheer her up. He says he's preparing her because it's the birthday of her guardian angel. Babina hears this and asks what they plan to do to celebrate. Arlo asks for waffles, so the three of them have breakfast at a restaurant later. While they are eating, Lola calls the school from a public phone outside to schedule a meeting for her brother. She then goes to work at the club that same afternoon, not knowing that her mother is going to Babina's house to take Arlo while she's not there. Mona even shaves his head at home, insisting that he must be a good son to her from now on. When he sees himself in the mirror afterward, Arlo is overwhelmed and runs away. However, this leads to him being run over by a car. Unaware of this, Lola takes a client to one of the private rooms to offer her services, having put aside her reservations about her body after her experience with Trick. She also reassures herself that this is for her brother's future. After the act, however, she receives a call revealing the horrific events that occurred. Soon, Lola is at the hospital, in shock over what happened to her brother. When Mona arrives, she quickly blames her daughter for Arlo's death. The woman is too overwhelmed with guilt to argue otherwise. After Trick takes the grieving mother away, Lola collapses in front of her brother's body. Unable to bear it, She hurriedly uses medication upon arriving at Babina's home. However, this is not enough to alleviate the pain. The next morning, her best friend tries to comfort her, but Lola notices that Malachi still hasn't come to see her. Sympathizing with her, Babina promises to call him. Soon, Malachi visits her, but Lola only wants substances from him. He advises against it, pointing out that it is destroying her. Instead, he wants to be with her while she's grieving. However, Lola refuses to mourn and simply tells him to leave. She yells at him, but Malachi hugs her, and she breaks down in tears. They end up spending the night together, but only so that Malachi can make sure she's okay. Eventually, Lola gets sick, so she takes a test and finds out she's expecting a child. This horrifies her, as there is only one man who could be the father. That night, she shares this with Babina, and her friend promises to help her. However, Lola refuses to raise her child in her village. Worried, Babina asks her to promise to stay clean if she's going to have a baby. Hesitantly, Lola nods. Days later, Malachi picks up Lola to attend a support group, thus fulfilling his promise to Babina. As the months pass, her relationship with Malachi blossoms as he supports her through her pregnancy. Babina also helps her prepare for childbirth, although she is sad because Lola plans to leave the village before her baby is born. Due to her condition, she is now working as a waitress at the club, which is working out well since the customers are treating her with more respect. Didi also admires her for continuing with her pregnancy, noting that she had her chance before but couldn't follow through. To help make ends meet, Babina also gets her job back at the supermarket, and things start to look more hopeful for Lola. Still, she wonders about her mother, so one day she asks her friend if she has seen Mona lately. Babina says she has, at church, which makes Lola wonder if Mona is praying for her. 6 months after becoming pregnant, the counselor from her support group encourages her to start sharing during her sessions. Lola is apprehensive about this, and the woman empathizes with her, noting that she also felt hesitant in her early months. She considers this the next day, though her thoughts are diverted when Mona visits the store. It's the first time her mother sees her pregnant, so she mocks her, assuming that Lola doesn't know who the father is. Lola is horrified by her mother's words, calling her a horrible person. Mona simply shrugs, so her daughter finally decides to reveal that Trick is the father. This enrages Mona, but what angers her even more is that she should have been the one to bring Trick's child. Lola can't believe her own mother doesn't care about what her boyfriend did to her, so she tells Mona that at least she would make sure her child feels loved. With a smile, Mona says she promised the same thing when she was pregnant with Lola, and then spitefully wishes her good luck before leaving. After Mona leaves, Babina comforts her friend, who decides never to see her mother again. During her shift at the club, Didi and the other dancers offer to share their tips with her, which Lola greatly appreciates. Her friend then wonders what she will name her daughter, but Lola hasn't decided yet. Didi then shares that she wants to have a daughter named Claudia. She also assures Lola that she will get through this, and Lola agrees, adding that it's easier to survive when there's someone to do it for. In her next and final support group session, Lola finally opens up to her peers. She shares that she never felt she had a mother, so she promises not to make the same mistake Mona made with her. Soon, with tears in her eyes, she says goodbye to Malachi and Babina as she prepares to leave the village. Lola admits that she couldn't have survived without her best friend, so she thanks her for everything. As she leaves the past behind, Lola reassures herself that no one is born helpless and troubled. She knows she has become the person she is now thanks to both the friends who helped her and the people who hurt her. However, it's up to her how to carry that happiness and those difficulties throughout her life. Soon, she lovingly watches her daughter riding a carousel with Malachi by her side. With the new life they enjoy together, Lola now knows that she deserves a second chance in life, and a second chance to give someone a better life than the one she had growing up. If you liked the summary, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It's free and really helps me continue growing.